I was trying to go for more of a period piece look here, but unfortunately, I think it's going more towards the path of a local neighborhood pedophile. Let's see what happens with that. Probably, I'm gonna probably get rid of all this in March. It was a fun ride. It was nice. It was a fun experiment, but I feel like I'm not really the facial hair type. No matter how hip my music taste is. Anyways, there's this thing called the coronavirus that's happening in this world. One by one, it's taking humanity into its big ol' arms. And considering how most diseases have went, it's probably not going to be this big of a deal in the summer. Apparently, they're working on the vaccine right now. That's going to be finished around June, and it'll be all over the world by this winter. So within this year, this is all going to go away. That's what the scientists and the doctors are saying. That's the best case scenario, obviously. The worst case scenario is that we'll be clamoring, we'll be killing each other for a face mask in the streets. Except for some reason the city that I'm living in. Because here's what's going on in Korea. Every day when you turn on the news, that's all they're talking about. How many more people have been infected? Another person has died. Like so far, I think by the time I upload this video, more than 1,000 people would have been infected in Korea. Because as of right now, that I'm recording this video, about 977 people have been infected, and 10 people have died, which makes us, I believe, the second most infected country in the world, and the third highest country in the world when it comes to people who have died from the coronavirus. So that's all we're talking about in the news. That's all we're talking about. Gone are the good stories of us winning Best Picture at the Oscars. Now it's just stories about people like lining up to buy face masks, people crying in terror for this disease. But in honest reality, and that's probably the story that you've been hearing overseas about Korea, but in reality, when you go out into the streets, and we still do go out in the streets for a walk, or to get groceries, or just to go to the gym, some people aren't even wearing masks. We're still sort of like, yeah, whatever, Especially in my city, for some reason, there are certain cities in Korea right now that are like pretty much at the brink of a huge pandemic. Like especially this one city named Daegu that I'll be talking about later. But for some reason, in my city, 0 patients have shown up. No one has been infected so far. So in my city, everyone's just kind of chill. Like, as long as we're careful, as long as we wash our hands, and as long as we all become collectively antisocial, no one's gonna get sick. And I think that's mostly because I live in a city that's so obscure that even Koreans don't know where it is. So no one comes in, no one goes out, and if they do, usually they're careful enough to not get the virus. So I think for the most part, I'll be safe. And from what I've heard, people who have gotten the virus and have sort of like gotten over the whole disease, they've been saying that it's not that big of a deal. Most of the people who have died from the virus are people who are much like people are in their 50s, 60s, and their 70s, and people who are already sick in the first place. So people like me who are young, virile, is virile the right word? I don't even fucking know. People who eat and work out and do that over and over again till the point where their life is just a boring routine, those people are not gonna die. So no, this whole country right now, we're not in our 28 days later phase. There have been a few big things happening here and there that, considering that we are the second most infected country in the world right now, it's kind of hard to say that everybody's chill about it. But, so I'm here to kind of tell you about what's going on, just the big things, which really kind of comes down to the one big thing that happened. Also, keep in mind, I am not the news. I do not have the most objective and accurate sources. This is just what I've heard from the news, from what I've just written down in my little notes here. So here's the thing. At a certain point, maybe like a couple weeks ago, we were very close to controlling this disease. I think around like less than 50 people were infected like 2 weeks ago, and right now we're almost hitting 1,000. And this is what happened in between that. We were very close to just controlling everything, making sure everything was okay. And then in the city of Daegu, there's this religious cult called Shincheonji, led by this guy named Iman. Apparently he's been doing this for a very long time. I did not know this cult even existed, but apparently it's like huge. Like there's like over 100,000 members in this cult. Apparently it's been like very notorious for ruining marriages and social relationships between people. Apparently a lot of high up lawyers, doctors, politicians, celebrities are members of this cult, and they've been around for years. And I had no idea this was going on. But here's the thing: they have a lot of churches all over, not just in Korea, but they have a church in Wuhan, the place that the disease started. And some people went there and came back, and now that cult is just riddled with that disease. And for some reason, and reasons that will probably make sense when you think about the fact that they're a cult, they have not been cooperating with the officials and the hospitals when it comes to checking if they actually have the disease. People have been hiding. They've been ignoring phone calls from officials who like call them to check if they're okay. They need to make sure these people don't have the disease, so they won't just go around town giving everyone the coronavirus. And these people have not been cooperating. The leader has been completely silent, so they haven't even been telling their followers to just like calm down, be quiet, and just pray at home. No one's doing anything about it. So now, apparently, these same people, these same cult members, are like going all over the country, still like trying to get people into their cult, because apparently, this is how this cult works. Apparently, if they hit a certain number of people within the cult, and if they get a certain amount of money, they've been promised to live forever. And I'm not talking about some bullshit spiritually living forever in heaven or something. No, physically live forever, which is absolute bullshit for most of us. But, when you're desperate and when you don't really have a core like firm center within you, I guess you'll believe in anything. But that's how that cult works. And unfortunately, because no one's really stopping them and no one's really able to track these people down, people who have been infected have skyrocketed, because clearly these people are just regular people just living their lives. And within just the city of Daegu, like I said, we're at 977 infected people right now. Within just the city of Daegu, there's over 700. So that it's very clearly related to this cult. And now people are talking about whether or not we should have some like what kind of measures that we can do to like stop this cult, what kind of laws that we can implement right now, what kind of strategies we should use. Apparently there has been another cult that's been like doing the same thing in Gyeonggi-do, the state of Gyeonggi-do, and over there the mayor was basically like, fuck it, let's just go into their fucking churches and get all these people, and they did that. But for some reason they're not doing that in Daegu, so people are like creating all these stupid conspiracy theories saying that, oh, what if the mayor of Daegu is actually part of the cult and he just doesn't want to stop it. But who knows what the fuck is going on. The point is, people are terrified over there. There are people lining up in front of supermarkets trying to get face masks, but they can only get 30 per person, and they're running out every day. So, it's chaos right now. It also doesn't help that there's like this right-wing pastor, this another right-wing cult-ish pastor who's been like getting together rallies in Seoul, even though we're trying to get rid of crowds in public places so people won't get affected. This guy just gets all these like thousands of people to come out into public squares and do rallies and speeches. And basically he's been telling these people that, by the way, this guy's name is Chun Kwang-hun. And he's been telling these people, and this is like almost I'm paraphrasing here, but he's been saying, it hasn't been proven that you can get the virus in public places. Hallelujah. I love that clip, honestly. It's like straight out of a horror movie. It's great. And there's this, I was watching the news and the guy was like interviewing these people in the rally. And the stuff these people were saying, they were saying, oh, I don't care if I live or die. That's up to God. If I die, I die. So what else? So whatever. And another woman was just like, I'm not scared of the coronavirus. Are you scared of the coronavirus? Because I'm not scared, because even if I die, I have a place in heaven. And thankfully, this pastor has been sent to jail because apparently he did some really sketchy shit in the elections. So that problem has been solved. But the whole cult, the Shincheonji problem, is still out and about. I don't know what's gonna happen with that. Apparently, they've the cult have been cooperating with the officials by giving them a list of names, but apparently that list of names have some faulty stuff in it. Apparently, certain names that we already know should be in that list are not in there. And this is all over. This is not some bullshit conspiracy stuff. This is like all over the actual like network news right now, because this is like a big deal. That's all we're talking about. When you turn on the news, that's the only thing we're talking about. That's how terrified we are. But like I said, I guess I'm not really feeling the full gamut of it all because I live in such a safe city. Like, if this was a zombie apocalypse movie, my city would be the safe haven. And apparently now we're like banned from certain countries alongside Iran, China. I'm sure Italy is going to be part of that list soon because apparently there's been like this huge epidemic in Italy with the coronavirus as well. I'm not sure how that happened. I would not be surprised if it was because of our cult. And if that's the case, I am so sorry if that's the case. Apparently that cult has also infected certain people in Israel. And that's just embarrassing, honestly. So apparently we've been banned from the UK, Israel, the island of Maui. That's very random, but I feel like that makes perfect sense considering, island countries should be very wary of this when it comes to diseases and viruses. Apparently, for some reason, we have not been banned from the States, from America. And you think, considering the guy who's leading the country right now and their tendencies of just banning countries, you think we would be on their list, but no. Apparently, it's still okay to go there. Apparently, they've warned America has warned their citizens to be wary of going to Korea. But that's the fullest extent they've done that they've done so far. Who knows what will happen in the next few weeks or days or even within the next hour? I have no idea. And you know what sucks? And this is more like a personal thing. Obviously, it sucks. The virus sucks because people are dying, people are scared, people are in pandemonium. So many people are just not able to do proper, living. Some people are not able to go to jobs. We've been postponing the end of winter vacation over here because if we let kids go back to school, the virus will just become more viral. More kids will get the virus because now there are just a bunch of kids in compact public places. So it will be easier to get the virus. So we've been postponing the first day of school for a week now, and I'm sure it's gonna be postponed more. I'm not sure when it's gonna stop, but I think one of the reasons again why it sucks so much for me, and this is more of a personal reason. This is gonna sound really narcissistic, and I don't care if it is because it is kind of pissing me off. I bought tickets to the Rage Against the Machine reunion shows in the States, and I was planning to go in the summer. And apparently, if this keeps going on, that is not gonna be happening. So just for the sake of Rage Against the fucking Machine, let's hope that this disease goes away. But in all seriousness, everybody should be careful. Everybody should be washing their hands. If you live in Korea, that's definitely something you should be doing. Wear your face masks, whether it's this or the white ones or whatever. And if you live in a country where the coronavirus might not be as big of a deal as it is over here, don't assault Asian people, please. I've been seeing some stuff on the news, and just please don't do that. Apparently, God, why are people so? Look. Let's say that you're walking down the street, and if you see an old Chinese lady, or an old Korean guy, or just some Asian person. If you have a gut feeling that you should walk across the street just because that person might have the coronavirus, you're obviously an extremely ignorant and misinformed person, but I totally get it. The current situation in the world right now is a bit sketchy. So, if you're gonna be a bit bigoted, just a bit, like 5% bigoted in your blood, fine. I'll understand. I think most people will understand. However, if you're running towards this person and assaulting them and telling them to go back to their country, that's when it becomes wrong. Because, well, first of all, if that person actually has the disease, that's the worst way, that's literally the stupidest way of avoiding that disease. The coronavirus can only be infected by being in contact with that person. When you see a nuclear bomb falling towards you, you run away. You don't kamikaze yourself towards the bomb and try to punch it. You run away. You stay away. Just do that. Be the silent bigot. Don't be the loud, assaulting, violent bigot. Be the silent bigot. We'll understand if you're a silent bigot. That's perfectly fine. Don't punch old Asian ladies, please. That's all I'm asking for. Don't punch us. Don't punch us. Don't punch Asians. That's the moral of the story. Don't punch Asians. Unless they're being assholes towards you. That's the only case. But if they're just being okay, you're just walking down the street, just don't punch them, please. Just walk away. Be a silent bigot. Be a silent bigot. That's the main thing we're going for here. All right, so I'm probably not going to die from this disease. I know that's I know I sound really full of myself when I say that, but apparently this disease, most of the people who have died are people who are already really old or who are already really sick, and I'm not one of those people, so I'll be fine. But, I'll still be careful. I will still be wearing all these masks. I probably need to buy more of these because I'm running out. Hopefully this ends, because it's definitely not fun. Alright, I think that's enough. Stay safe, everyone, and bye.